Demon Energy D1NZ, brought to you by TBC Performance Wheels, The Rock FM, Link ECU, High Tech Oils and Club Auto Insurance. Well, welcome to the show. It's round 4 of the Demon Energy D1NZ National Drifting Championship from Hampton Downs.
Yeah, that's right. We're in the northern Waikato. A big makeover here at the Motorsport Park for Hampton Downs as we take a look at the Pro Championship points.
Thanks, Kenny. Daniel Wilhouse on 197 points leads Cole Armstrong on 164.
Kurt Whitaker on 193, Danham Templeman in behind. And of course, that point shake-up was all due to a scrutineering penalty issued to the Nico Reed Drift Team as we head into the top 16 here for round 4. And the grid lineup shaping up to be a good one.
Our pole sitter from last week, Nico Reed, will be the first battle up of the day versus Tom Marshall.
Yeah, Whitaker, Kelly and Woolhouse, former champions, also through to the top 16. It's an action-packed show again this week, and we are straight into the top 16 battles here at Hampton Downs.
Well, Nico Reed in the Evergreen tyres, S15. Quick, snappy transition into the right-hander. Only a short lap here at Hampton Downs. Tom Marshall and chase.
Yeah, it's one of the shortest circuits on the D1NZ calendar. It's either a track you love or hate, and Tom Marshall just not getting that chase lap done there, and Nico Reed will hold a bit of an advantage into the second lap.
Well, as we see the second chase run for the two drivers, Tom Marshall. It's Evergreen versus Evergreen, 180 S6 versus the Sylvia of Nico Reed as they come over the hill into the left-hander, rolling burnout to finish. A good lap by Tom Marshall.
Yeah, I have to say Nico Reed will take the victory there and go through to the top 8, and that bodes well for his championship. But his brother Joe Marshall now back in his own car. Of course, Tom Marshall borrowing his brother's car this weekend, Team ATJ. So Joe Marshall's now back in the hot seat, and he's now being hunted down by Bruce Tannock and that Achilles Radial S13. It's RB30 versus RB30.
Well, it's a close run between these two drivers. It's going to take the second pass to work out who's going to win this one, Kenny.
Yeah, Bruce Tannock, Joe Marshall. Bruce has done plenty of laps in the D1NZ circuit. Joe Marshall, just his second year in the Pro Championship, but doing a pretty good job here. But you have to say Bruce Tannock just nailing those clipping points, and really Joe Marshall just falling away in the chase there, and that will send Bruce Tannock through to the top 8.
Well, the next battle out will be Cole Armstrong in the V-Energy 250 GT up against the S14 of Dave Steadman.
Yeah, the Mimico Ryko 24/7 machine. Another pair of RB30s battling it out here. Nissans through and through. Cole Armstrong leading out in that V-Energy 250 GT. Another strong lap here, but don't discount Dave Steadman. What can he do in the second pass?
Well, Steadman leads as they come into the right-hander.
Cole Armstrong putting a wheel off on the entry, so that'll be a huge penalty there. And a straight line too up over the hill. Another wheel off as he comes over, so Dave Steadman will take the victory.
Next up, we see Jody Verhouse in the Milwaukee Tools GT86 Supra and Gaz Grove in the CMP Constructions S15.
Oh, bumper flying off there for Gaz Grove. Jody Verhouse just wiping the rear end of that Milwaukee Tools Supra off the front of the CMP Construction S15.
Yeah, tight, snappy transition at the start. Contact made as we see the High Tech Oils replay.
Jody just going in for that entry, and we talk about that proximity and how close these cars come flying through to the Turn 1 Hampton Downs section. Second pass now for Gaz Grove and the CMP Construction Machine. Bumper off, and Jody Verhouse trying to capitalise here. She's got a little bit of an advantage, you'd have to say.
Yeah, Jody coming through. It's going to be Jody Verhouse that's going to go through to the next round.
On board here with Brad Smith up against Kurt Whitaker. Kurt Whitaker, former champ in the Autosure R34 Skyline. Brad Smith in the BSR Supercharged VQ38 350Z.
And Mr. Perfect, Kurt Whitaker, straight into the right-hander. Massive angle in the Autosure R34 Skyline.
Yeah, really laying it down, but Brad Smith makes a bit of a mistake there too, so you're going to have to call points advantage right now to Kurt Whitaker.
So Brad Smith takes the lead on their second pass.
Kurt Whitaker trying to close that gap up. He knows he's got a bit of advantage perhaps from the... Oh, straight line there from Kurt Whitaker too. So this could go to an OMT. What will the judges call? And I think it's going to be Brad Smith going through. And this is going to be a really controversial call, but there you see, that'll be whether it'll be 1 or 2 points in it. Kurt Whitaker losing traction on that entry. We didn't want to see a big flick on that entry, and then you see that straight line there too for Kurt Whitaker. So that was the deciding factor. Now you'll see it again here as we look up the main chute heading into the first corner with Darren Kelly and Danum Templeman. Darren Kelly, that he does it too. Kurt Whitaker, what we were talking about, that entry coming into the section, Danum Templeman's going to capitalise here as long as he can get this chase run locked down. And Darren Kelly in the high-tech oils R34 and the NAC Insurance E46 BMW.
Well, advantage for Danum Templeman after that run. Danum Templeman this time leading the way, the current drift king, Darren Kelly in chase.
You see that entry again, losing traction to the opposite side of the track where the judges want to see the points scored on that compulsory switchback, and Darren Kelly will be hurt by that as well as Kurt Whitaker, and well, it's going to go one more time.
So judges couldn't make the decision. One more time's the call. Darren Kelly will lead Danum Templeman as they get into the first section of the Hampton Downs course.
Danum Templeman making a mistake again and getting it all wrong. It'll be a 0 from Templeman in the chase, but Darren Kelly's pulled out of the drift too.
Now, when we say pull out of the drift, both drivers have to continue drifting.
Yeah, well, when you've got the lead run and the chase car pulls out of the drift, you've got to finish the lap to score the points. Darren Kelly didn't do that. So second pass now for Danum Temple and NAC Insurance Machine, and Darren Kelly all over the place, former champ. The bad luck just continues for Darren Kelly.
Well, more battles for the D1NZ D1NZ after the break. Well, welcome back to the D1NZ D1NZ National Drifting Championship, round number 4 from Hampton Downs.
It's top 16 action here. Just a couple of battles left to go before we get into the top 8. And Adam Hedges and Shane Allen, the Sears Garage S14, up against that Rattler Motorsport V8.
We speak so often about how critical the first section is. Adam Hedges nailing it as they come up over the hill.
Yeah, Shane Allen too, just trying to be there in the chase. Not the most committed chase run we've seen from Shane Allen. Of course, Rattler Motorsport, home base for them here at Hampton Downs, as Adam Hedges just gets it all wrong coming in through the chase.
So Shane Allen just has to get over the hill, hold on to it, rolling burnout to finish the section.
He'll be throwing a lifeline here, so this is going to go one more time with Adam Hedges putting a wheel off in the dirt, and it does, and here we go again off the standing start. Shane Allen up against Adam Hedges. It's V8 first turbo.
And that V8 has got huge horsepower under the bonnet, but Shane Allen, he's got it all wrong, throwing it sideways and turning the car around.
Oh, just stacks it on, commits to the entry, and the Gulf Western Oils Ford Falcon unfortunately falling victim there, and the Sears Garage Machine will take advantage heading into the second pass.
So it's the second pass of the one more time battle between Shane Allen in the Gulf Western Oils Rattler Falcon and Adam Hedges in the Sears Garage S14.
Yeah, Shane Allen putting on a bit of a commanding lead lap here, and Adam Hedges just not getting off the line, and I think he's got a mechanical, something wrong with the gearbox. Perhaps he's just using third or fourth gear to get through the section. I'd say fourth gear, judging by how laggy he is in the rear. So Shane Allen will take victory through to the top 8.
And our next battle between Drew Donovan and Daniel Woolhouse. These two, they had issues at the last round in Taupo. Let's see if there's any contact this time, Kenny.
Yeah, that's right. This is a bit of a grudge match, if you will, between Drew Donovan, the Morky Tools S15 V8 up against the V8 supercharged machine of the Century Batteries Commodore Fangadan. Drew Donovan, they've got a bit of beef on track from the last round, but here they are again. I guess they've mended a few things in the pit lane and now back on track.
Well, Fanger, he's got a great lead run. Donnie D right up underneath that car. It's going to be hard to decide, Kenny.
Yeah, I think the judges might want to go OMT with this one. Both drivers setting some pretty good laps, and it does. One more time, Drew Donovan and Dan Woolhouse. The Milwaukee Tools, Sylvia, up against the Century Batteries, Holden Commodore. What's going to happen here?
Well, the Milwaukee Tools S15 of Drew Donovan, and look how close Dan Woolhouse is to the back bumper of that car.
Yeah, it's all about emulating the lead car, getting that proximity to that rear quarter, and then moving up to the A-pillar if you can. Hampton Downs is a hard track to do that, though. But I'm going to give a slight points advantage right now to Drew Donovan.
Yeah, I think so. A slight gap at the end of that last pass, but this time we'll see Dan Woolhouse, that Century Batteries Commodore, 860 horsepower as he throws it into the right-hander.
You talk about 860 horsepower, Drew Donovan's still pulling his weight with 550 horsepower. So that's the beauty of drifting. It doesn't really matter how much horsepower you can. It's all about that skill, all about that technique, getting that entry right, especially here at Hampton Downs. And I tell you what, Drew Donovan takes the win over Mr. Fanger Dan Woolhouse.
Well, on the left-hand side of the tree, we've got Nico Reed going up against Bruce Tannock, Dave Steadman versus Jody Verhulst, Brad Smith and Dana Templeman, Shane Allen and Drew Donovan.
Well, pretty fast, action-packed stuff here. Round 4, Hampton Downs, Demon Energy, Nico Reed, Bruce Tannock now about to battle it out. The battle of the Sylvias, S13 up against the later model S15, both running RB engine packages, and championship contender Nico Reed in that Evergreen Tyres S15. He'll want to claw back some points at this round after that points penalty being issued at round 3 in Taupo.
Well, Nico Reed, he's taken 2 victories in a row after tasting his maiden victory at Bay Park 2 rounds ago.
Well, we take a look at the High-Tech Oils replay, and as you say, Steve, it's round 4 here at Hampton Downs, and Nico Reed wants to kind of rewrite the history books. He wants to get 3 wins in a row and sort of make a statement about the series and that points penalty. But let's see what happens in the second pass here. Bruce Tannock, the Achilles Radial S13, up against the Evergreen Tyres S15. Bruce Tannock holding it in the lead. Oh, there's a wheel off. Tannock takes a spin, and it's drama on track.
Huge drama at Hampton Downs. Nico Reed appears to have lost his left rear tyre. Bruce Tannock spins as well. What happened there?
Well, Nico Reed pulling into the return road there. You see the bumper off. There's a wheel rolling off track as we go to the High-Tech Oils replay. And wow, it's just, how do you digest this one? Bruce Tannock takes a spin, and I guess with the lead lap, you take a spin, it's a 0, so you automatically hand the victory, 10-0 victory to Nico, but Nico's lost the wheel. So he's got a lot of work to do to get the car repaired and get back out there for the top 4. He's made it into the semi-finals.
All right, well, we've got Jody Verhulst in the Milwaukee Tools GT86 Supra versus the Ryco 24/7 Mimico S14 of Dave Steadman.
Yeah, a pair of Tauranga locals battling it out. They have plenty teammates. The Milwaukee Tools Supra, though, holding a bit of an advantage there. And Dave Steadman just maybe taking a little bit too much of the inside curbing up over the hill. What can they do in the second pass? Steadman needs to pull some points out of this to try and claw something back.
Well, Jody Verhulst, she's continued to improve all season long, but Dave Steadman, the Tauranga boy, it's versus the Tauranga girl. What can he do as he comes into the right-hander, up over the hill, laying down the smoke?
Yeah, Steadman's another one of those drivers too that's really come a long way developing his craft in the Pro Championship, but it's a pretty commanding lead there. It was a clean chase from Jody, but I think the points advantage is going to swing in favour of Dave Steadman, and that Mimico machine is going to take victory through to the semi-finals.
As we look at the High-Tech Oils replay, and Dave Steadman pulling away, creating a gap, putting the smoke down and taking victory.
Well, it's another championship fight about to unfold here. Dana Templeman, the NAC Insurance E46 BMW on board with Brad Smith in the chase. The VQ38 supercharged Nissan. Dana Templeman, he'll want to claw some points back here at this round 2 after being knocked out early. Oh, there's contact.
Yeah, talking about getting knocked out. We see one car going around. That's Brad Smith. Dana Templeman carrying on with the pass. Let's go to the High-Tech Oils replay.
Yeah, Brad Smith just overcommitting on the entrant. As I was saying, Dana Templeman getting knocked out earlier than he would have liked at round 3, and he'll want to claw some points back here at round 4, Hampton Downs. Brad Smith, though, he's now got a 10-0 advantage. What can he do in the lead? It's a hard thing to do here on a short track.
Well, as we say, it's a short track. It's over in about 12 seconds. Dana Templeman, of course, having early advantage after the first battle pass between these two drivers.
Yeah, Dana's also said this is a bit of a boogie track for him. He doesn't like Hampton Downs, and he's never really podiumed here, so it actually is shaping up well for him at the moment because he's gone through to the semi-finals.
Next battle, Drew Donovan versus Shane Allen. Donovan in the S15 Sylvia he's been on song all season, Kenny.
Yeah, we talk about up-and-coming drivers, new stars developing their craft in the Pro Championship. Drew Donovan is another one of those star drivers coming through the ranks, and Shane Allen so too for him, but unfortunately, he's just not getting that chase run locked down, so Drew Donovan will hold advantage first pass.
Well, Brett LaFalcon, Shane Allen at the wheel, throws it into the right-hander. This place is home. They live only a couple of hundred metres away from the place.
Yeah, Shane Allen and the Rattler Motorsport team based here at Hampton Downs, but Donny D, Drew Donovan. The LS Chevrolet machine will take victory over the Ford Falcon. Welcome back to the Demon Energy D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series. It's round 4 in the Northern Waikato Hampton Downs Motorsport Park. It is semi-final time.
And in semi-final number 1, Nico Reid versus Dave Steedman.
On the other side of the tree, we will see Dainham Templeman up against Drew Donovan. But first, Nico Reid in the Evergreen Tyres Nissan Silvia S15 up against Dave Steedman, the Mimico Raiko machine from Tauranga. Pair of RBs battling it out, pair of Silvias battling it out. Nissan versus Nissan. It's semi-final time. Who's going to pull it out of the bag? Dave Steedman's cooked it. He's overcooked his chicken.
Nico Reid, he's going to take a commanding lead into the second pass between these two drivers in the semi-final here at Hampton Downs, round 4 of the Demon Energy D1NZ Drifting Championship.
Well, I don't know why I said chicken, Steve, but that is something hard to come past once you've overcooked it, because Dave Steedman now at a bit of a disadvantage. He pushed too wide. It was a half spin. He'll be marked down heavily for that, and especially at such a short track. Standing start here at Hampton Downs, super difficult, super technical. Nico Reid, though, holding the advantage right now.
So is there anything Dave Steedman can do as he comes into the first sector at Hampton Downs?
Steedman putting in a pretty strong lead lap here. He really knows he's got to improve here, but Nico Reid, you just can't discredit the guy. He really wants to go for that 3 in a row.
Well, Nico Reid, is there anyone that can beat him? He loves his battles, but we've got issues on the track. Oil down everywhere, Kenny.
Yeah, the Evergreen Tyres S15 reportedly dropping oil, and as we can see here, the cleanup crew doing a bit of work on the grid. It looks a bit ugly, but better we have kitty litter down than have no grip at all for these guys on the standing start. Second battle now. Drew Donovan and the Milwaukee Tools V8 up against that 2JZ Turbo of Dainham Templeman.
Well, it's smoking powder as we go up over the left-hander. Dainham right underneath the rear bumper of Drew Donovan.
Yeah, chewing on Drew Donovan's smoke, but just driving blind and staying with that proximity. And even though these guys are battling issues on the track too now with that oil spill and a little bit of kitty litter, it's all on here. It's all on here for that final spot. Who's going to go through to battle Nico Reid? Hampton Downs round 4, semi-final time. Dainham Templeman, NAC Insurance, E46 BMW 2JZ Turbo up against that Chevrolet V8 of Drew Donovan. And I'll tell you what, that 2J looking pretty strong.
Well, it's a new car for Dainham Templeman this season, the E46 BMW. We see it here with the High-Tech Oils replay. Throwing it wide, he's really come to grips with the car. Yeah,
unfazed by the oil spill. And Dainham Templeman, I mean, you'd never think he would be a championship contender at the halfway mark of the season, because he's now gone through to the final up against Nico Reid. It's going to be a repeat of round 2 in Tauranga.
Well, the question will be, of course, can Nico Reid go 3 in a row? But we'll have to find out after we see the battle for 3rd and 4th position. 2 Tauranga guys, it's Donny D, Drew Donovan leading Dave Steedman in the Mimico S14.
Pair of Silvias, 1 turbo, 1 V8, and Drew Donovan just off that entry line that we wanted to see. He missed that apex, but he regains it up over the hill. So I don't know, it's fairly even, maybe just a slight points advantage to Steedman now, because Steedman, that's where he capitalised. He just closed up, tucked up under the rear quarter, and yeah, I'd say, looking at the High-Tech Oils replay, it's looking in favour of Steedman at the moment by just a few points.
Yeah, let's see what happens in the second pass between these two drivers.
Silvia versus Silvia, V8 versus Turbo. Who's it going to be? And Steedman puts a wheel out in the grass, and you'll see the advantage pop up there to Drew Donovan. So they'll come on through this section. Steedman putting a wheel up over the curb again. That might be a hairy moment for the judges too, looking at wheels off. So perhaps Drew Donovan's going to go through here, and he does. The Milwaukee Tools S15 taking 3rd place on the podium.
Well, it's final time, and it's Dainham Templeman versus Nico Reid for a battle of the Titans.
Yeah, these two are shaping up to be championship contenders here, coming through to the halfway mark of the season. Nico Reid, the higher qualifier, takes the lead lane. Dainham Templeman, he really wants another podium. He really wants another win here, and he wants the first win for the E46 BMW. But that Evergreen Tyres S15, as Nico Reid looks in the rearview mirror, he's really commanding so far.
All right, let's look at the second pass of the final between the two drivers. So it's going to be Dane and Templeman. Can he gap Nico Reed using all 1,200 horsepower as they come into the right-hander first sector of Hampton Downs?
Well, it's two turbocharged rockets coming through to the final here at Hampton Downs. The V8s are long gone, and the 2JZ E46 BMW just laying down the smoke. And I'm going to call this OMT, Steve. What do you reckon?
Well, the judges call it the same way that you do, Kenny, and we will see it one more time to determine who will become the champion for round 4 today at Hampton Downs.
Well, the judges couldn't split them, so we're going to see it again. Nissan versus BMW, Nissan engine versus Toyota 2JZ, and Nico Reed again putting down a solid lead lap, and Dane Templeman lost in the smoke.
Well, let's have a look at the High-Tech Oils replay to see what happened in that first pass between these two stunning drivers.
Templeman going in for that committed chase, but he was just washing out too wide. He didn't really stick to that chase line that we wanted to see. He fell away over the hill. It's a short track. We keep saying it. It's a track you either love or hate as a driver. And unfortunately right now, it's advantage to Nico Reed for Dane Templeman.
So Nico Reed, this will be the last pass of round 4. Can he hold on to it? He comes up under the bumper of Dane Templeman. Will he win 3 in a row?
Well, Templeman pushed wide on that apex. I'd say it's a fair call to say Nico Reed will have the advantage there. High-Tech Oils replay, and you'll see it right there. Nico nails that inside apex. Templeman losing points. You really got to set the car up for this section, and Nico Reed just capitalizes here. He takes victory, and the Nico Reed Drift fans know it.
Yeah, it's just definitely a good feeling, you know, to obviously win 3 rounds in a row. And with a bit of grief we had, you know, after that last round, we just sort of put it behind us and just kept charging towards that championship.
Well, Nico Reed in the evergreen tyres, Nissan S15, checkered flag out the window. He takes 3 round victories in a row.
Well, Dane Templeman has a slim lead over Nico Reed as they go into the next round in Christchurch. The championship has been blown wide open.
Templeman, Reed and Woolhouse, your championship leaders. Tune in next week. It's all on in Christchurch.
The Demon Energy D1NZ, brought to you by TBC Performance Wheels, The Rock FM, Link ECU, High-Tech Oils and Club Auto Insurance.